Hey guys, morning. Welcome to the channel. Not been posting much lately. Been kind of busy just with other stuff, and to be honest, the fishing from the shore fishing, has been pretty slow. The boat fishing has been really good, but the shore fishing has been pretty slow. Um, and I'm busy kind of getting ready to head to Canada on Monday week. I'm headed for Prince Edward Island for 2 weeks striped bass fishing. I cannot wait. I want to say special thanks to a few people, Melvin Percy, Colin Philpott, and my old friend Peter Aspinall. I'm going out there with the finest of flies and fly fishing gear, courtesy of the boys. It's so good of them, so kind of them to do that for me. I really appreciate it. Um, so the shore fishing at the minute not great, right? And we've been getting on some fish though, but not lots, right? And to be honest, it's not a big shock. I mean, June is often for me, it's never a great month. Like it's probably my least favorite month. It's like the transition between spring and summer fishing, and I don't know. I think a lot of fish are offshore. I think the bait moves off a bit or whatever, and there's a change in the type of bait that the fish are feeding on, and that has a huge impact. Um, the one thing I will say though, that I have learned from boat fishing, and I probably I've learned it from shore fishing. I'm sure I probably knew it already, but is downsizing, right? I mean, like pike fishermen do it all the time, right? So they can't get a hit on on their bigger baits. And if you think about fishing for pike, right? So you're fishing for, it's like a captive audience, right? You know what I mean? The pike are always in the lake, so you know they're there, right? And these days, especially if you're boat fishing for pike, you're fishing with a bunch of electronics so you can actually see the fish. I mean, the same is true of boat fishing for bass, right? You've got your Helix or your Garmin or whatever, and you can see. Now, depending on where you're fishing, uh, in my case, you could be looking at salmon that are stacked up in the estuary, or you may be looking at a shoal of bass or whatever. Um, but what I would say is, if you're not getting a hit, downsize. Just try something smaller. Um, I mean, for me, and it's not going to be a really long video today. Uh, what's way more important, I think, than color, right, is size and profile, right, and action. Um, and like, look at this little guy. Like, this is the smallest of the major craft eelies, and I'm going to give this a good fish at the weekend, right from the boat, and I guarantee you I will absolutely muzzle fish on that. And like, even I was watching footage there even recently of huge striped bass, right? Which are related to our own bass, right? But I've seen our bass doing a similar behaviour, right? Rummaging in the mud to get at the sand flea. So the biggest of fish will eat tiny little things, right? I mean, think about Atlantic salmon when they go to sea. They feed almost exclusively on shrimp, right? Which are krill, which are da 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 da. So it's not a case of to catch big fish, you need huge big baits. Oftentimes, actually, it can be a case of your baits are too big, right? I think one of the reasons, like these guys, these little dark sleepers, right, they have been so successful, is that the gobies are always there. Like, right, granted, there's probably more in the summer or whatever, but it's a constant food source for bass, right? There's always rock gobies or some kind of goby type fish, hanging in and around the ledges, right? And if you're willing to fish those bad boys tight to the bottom, and there's an actively feeding bass around, he'll have a snatch at it. But what I would say to you is don't ignore small baits like the little 4-inch 1-up shad is probably one of my favorite baits of all, right? I also really like these. I haven't had the chance. I'm going to fish them a lot this weekend, right? It's the little fish roller from Raid. So it's the 4-inch fish roller, right? It's got the little fork tail. I mean, it's just a perfect match for all sorts of small fish that'll inhabit this particular system I'm feeding, or I'm fishing rather. And the other bait I want to test are these. Oh, our camera's gone wonky on me. Come back to me, you. This camera has a mind of its own sometimes. But these little guys I really like the look of, right? And it's the stabby shad from Major Craft. So, going to give those a try. You can see it's on a decoy batchy 7 gram. Might step it up to a 10 gram because I'll be fishing in a fair bit of tide, right? But that's it. Yeah, I'm not gonna spend ages babbling on about like just changing the size of your lure. But it is a kind of a tactic. Like, you know, if you're not getting a hit on a 120 or a 110 or a 125 or whatever, drop down the size of the lure, right, and see what happens, right? Because there are lots of smaller lures available now that, you know, bass rods now tend to be rated much lighter anyway. Like lots of guys are fishing in the kind of the 4 to 24 gram ratings and what have you. By the way, I'm looking over there because they are over there. I got in the Tidrift 5G from Major Craft, and so I'm fishing with Sea Bass Custom because the guys at Tackle Wave very kindly hooked me up with a really nice fishing rod when I signed up with the company, right? We started selling a bit of IMA and Major Crafts and stuff, and it is an absolutely beautiful rod, right? But if I wasn't fishing with that, the Tidrift is absolutely the rod I will be buying. It's just a cracking rod. I like a rod with a bit of finish, and it has that. It's got a lovely action to it. It's really nice to fish with. It's got a smashing rating, like 5 to 30 grams. It'll do whatever you want it to do. Everything from, like, you know, small soft plastics to you know, a decent sized surface lure. So a pretty versatile piece of kit, right? I think I got one in stock at the minute. So yeah. So look, that's it for today, guys. Just a really quick clip, just to stay kind of current and to keep some stuff out there or whatever about the shop. The other stuff I got in is a whole bunch of metal lures from Little Jack, and they are, I have to say, the most realistic metals I've ever seen, and their action when you're fishing them in the water is incredible. So I'll be fishing that guy as well this weekend. That's the Metal Addict. I'm not sure what number it is actually, to be honest with you, but you'll see it there online anyway. There's a whole section devoted to metals and jigs and stuff. So other than that, I hope everybody is well, and we'll keep you up to speed on prepping for Canada and how that's going, and we'll be posting over there as well. Hopefully we get you some footage of well, if how the lads are getting on is anything to go by. We're in for a good trip. They seem to be absolutely murdering fish, Darren Jackson and those guys, so I hope they have a great trip. It looks like they're having a lot of fun. So yeah, so that's it for today, guys. Just a quick one on changing the size of your lure as a tactic. So hope everybody is well and catching a few fish and tight lines.